going to open up the neck a little bit. I'm going to lower you down just a tad. Is that okay? Do I need to adjust your foot or your ankle bolster?
No.
You feel good? Okay. I go ahead because I'm going to revisit, when I revisit the scapula, the rotator cuff muscles, I'm going to revisit the upper arm, so I'm going to go ahead and apply my lubricant there. Remember, if you do not drape low enough, then you're going to leave out a lot of the lumbar and the sacral, and all of the sacral region. Okay. Let me know if my pressure becomes too deep for you. Dressage. Remember to stand on the side. If you're not able with your arm length without coming in contact with the head area, stand to the side, remember. Wow.
Sorry.
Okay, so here's my lamina groove. Now I'm working a lot of other muscles too, but what I'm wanting you to focus on with this particular stroke is I want you to work on those muscles that run up and down the spine. Those postural muscles, those arrector-spinae group. So I'm going to start right underneath the clavicle, and what we're going to do is we're going to apply pressure medial to lateral. Okay. Because I find that these muscles do not get worked specifically very often, and they're very important. Okay, pressure okay? And look where I'm standing. I want the same amount of pressure that I exert here to be exerted here. I've received massages that way, and I'm thinking, well, yeah, good pressure on my upper back. No pressure on my low back. That working right on top of that sacrum feels so good. And actually, if there's any excessive anterior tilt, it'll begin to stretch out some of these muscles in the pelvis area. or the pelvic area. So now I'm picking back up. See where now I'm going to come from here up. Lats, teres. We're even hitting into that serratus anterior a little bit. I'm working on top where the sits muscles are, or at least the supra and infraspinatus muscles. And so this is the second time we are working the neck and shoulders. What I'm focusing on here is levator. Still doing okay? And I'm getting a lot of muscles, superficial to deep. But I'm really trying to pay attention to the erector spinae. Even though I'm getting a lot of rhomboids and trapezius. Some of those longissimus posterior neck muscles. Usually this is when I reapply. If you need to. If you don't, then don't worry about it. So see, basically then at this point, this is the only section of the butt that I haven't worked. Okay. Now I'm going to pay attention to those same muscle groups, and this time I'm going to work from lateral to medial. But of course I'm in here, I'm paying attention. Here's my quadratus lumborum here. But at the same time, look, I can work right. Are you okay? That's a little tender, isn't it? Look at that hyperemia. Now I'm getting the back side of my obliques as well. Serratus anterior, posterior. I'm going to pull back with this one. I'm placing it here. You can kind of hook into the top of that sacrum. I'm wanting to do a little bit of a stretch. So be careful of the ribs. And now I'm going to do some deep gliding. A little bit of a stretch. Still okay? I'm going to work on the sits muscles. Here's the attachment. And actually, too, the triceps. And what caps it is the deltoid posterior. Infra, upper trapezius, levator, circular effleurage kind of releases this area because now I'm going to elevate the scapula. Now, if someone cannot do this without their elbow sticking up like this, have them place it under the anterior. It's like the ASIS, basically. You're looking on the anterior portion. And it's still going to do the same thing. The other key to this is leave the elbow down. Do you see what happens when the elbow is raised? Leave it down. You can roll up one of your hand towels if you want to, or you can, I'm going to pull this down. I want space in here. This goes underneath the anterior shoulder. See, look. Wow, look at that. He's got good. Not everybody's going to be this way. So what I'm thinking about doing, this is what is labeled on your handouts as rhomboid therapy. So I'm going to start right here. And between the two from here and here, they say, oh, access the subscapularis. Sometimes you can, sometimes you can't. It's really hard. It would be better to rotate the scapula and let the ribs and the scapula roll over that muscle because it's anterior. Okay, but so what we're going to do here is focusing on rhomboid. So I'm going to go here, I'm going to go here, and then I'm going to do lamina groove. So I make sure I cover them. And once I get to the superior border, look, I'm going to try to, as much as possible, usually that levator is gluing that superior border down. Okay, so here we go. And I can come on out, look. So within there is going to be supraspinatus. So here I go. It's a little indentation. 2, 3. And release back down. Remember how we said we were going to, on a posterior or in a prone position, we're going to reattach the neck and the shoulders again? So look, feels so nice to do this. So I'm right within that lamina groove, and I'm going to go up to the occipital ridge, and I'm going to do some circular friction. Do you see where it says thoracolumbar stretch? Y'all see that on there? The back routine. That's this one, guys. Do you see it? Should be at the very bottom. And you guys use your elbows and your forearms where you can on the back, because you know what? We want to avoid repetitive motion injuries. I'm going to do his other side, but so you guys can start working, we will have done this to the other side, okay? So what you can do to get back up to the top once you finish this side, it's kind of a nice move too, it feels good. Anything else you found that was tight? I usually go ahead and revisit the neck area. That's that stripping from C7, and we're going toward the acromion process. That's what this is. Because usually that's going to be a lot more relaxed at that point. Fairly broad base too, if you use your knuckles. Coming up that cervical region. If you wanted to do some tapotement, stay on the top. Feels really nice on the upper trapezius and between the shoulder blades. Careful of your bony prominences. We're going to revisit the head. I'm going to start below the occipital ridge, and I am going to massage. This one's not as firm as we did the scalp in the very beginning. It's just that wherever we begin, we're going to end. Okay, so this is a little more relaxing. I'm still focusing on the same muscles I did. And if at this point, instead of right after doing the posterior legs to tapotement them, if you want to wait and do the entire back of the body except for that lumbar area and over the floating ridge, then you could do it as your part of your goodbye too. Up to you. And this is my say goodbye. Any places again that were problematic, I'm going to give them a little more TLC. Okay.